Today on Dak and Jew, we are making tahini buns.
Tahini buns. Dak has been tantalizing all of us with this recipe that is actually like a riff on our classic cinnamon roll recipe.
The reason it's taken like over a month, Julie couldn't find instant yeast where she was. And so I mailed some to her.
Contraband yeast. And the best part is I had to pay the mailman when it arrived because Dakota only put one stamp on it.
I used two. I was feeling generous.
Sorry, two. And so I had to pay him $1.74.
Needless to say, we are back in business and we are ready to make some tahini buns. So first thing we're gonna do is turn your oven on to 200 degrees. You can either use a stand mixer with a dough hook, which is easier, or like what Julie's about to do is you can do it by hand.
Yeah. So Dakota and I are measuring out 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour.
We're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of either tapioca flour, cornstarch, or Julie's using arrowroot. 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar. A teaspoon of salt. Julie asked me to change because apparently I'm too monochromatic. How's this for monochromatic? Okay, so this recipe calls for instant yeast. It is different than dry active. 1.5 teaspoons of instant yeast that goes in with the milk.
And again, just emphasizing that your milk is kind of like warm bath water so that you don't kill your yeast friends. Mixy, mixy, whiskey, whiskey. So my oven's up to temp. Do I turn it down?
Yep. So once your oven is at 200 degrees, you can actually just turn it off. Whenever baking recipes say to bring things room temperature, I get irritated and I'm like, why? But in this case in particular, it's important because we're going to be whisking these 2 eggs in with the milk mixture, and you don't want to bring the milk mixture down below its nice
bath water.
Okay, so eggs in the milk mixture, and I'm just giving it a whisk to combine.
Stream our milk mixture into the flour mixture and just continually stir it until it's combined. It's going to be a lot easier for Dakota. That's nice, Dakota.
I've been mixing it for maybe a minute or 2, and it's pretty dry. Never fear, because that's why we're using lots of butter. Cut it into chunks, 8 tablespoons of softened butter. With the motor running, you're going to slowly add in 1 chunk at a time your softened butter. And that's really what's going to make it into a cohesive, like silkier dough. So lightly flour your surface. And then we're just going to knead this a couple times until it comes into a ball, which it kind of already has. So we're just going to shape it into a sexy ball.
Shaping it to a sexy ball.
Shaping it to a sexy ball. You get a big bowl, and I'm just using the paper that my butter was attached to, and I'm going to use that to grease my bowl.
And then we're just dropping our ball in there.
The point of preheating your oven to 200 and turning it off is you're just creating this like lightly warm space. So, you know, if it's the summer, which it's about to be.
So once you have your dough in the oven, it's going to stay in there for about an hour to an hour and a half. You're looking for your dough ball to have about doubled in size.
Now we're making the filling.
Okay. Let's melt our butter and tahini together.
2 tablespoons of butter, melt that.
And a 1/2 cup of tahini.
Okay, so whisk together the butter and the tahini, spreadable sensation. We need to make our brown sugar filling mixture. Filling mixture. So then we're gonna lightly flour our surface. I think this is like 18 inches-ish long, and maybe 9 to 12 inches-ish tall.
Yeah, I would say that mine's almost there.
Sometimes I do a quick check to make sure this isn't stuck, because once you start putting the toppings on and it gets stuck, you're effed. We're gonna spread our tahini mixture all over. So then we're gonna spread almost all of our mixture on top. So just keep some for the pan. You're gonna roll
long edge
because we want to make a long log.
We're making a long log and tiny buns.
You can kind of pinch the ends so that nothing comes out the ends. So mine's all greased up, and then I saved probably like a third of a cup, like that. Cut it in half first. We want 8 on each side because we're making 16 total. So if it helps, you can just kind of like score it so that, you know, I'm going in half right here and then in half again. I'm like, okay, that's how I'm going to get 8. This is why it's so important to create a long log. You're just going to start putting them in your pan. At this point, we're going to use that same towel or same plastic wrap and put them back in the oven until they've doubled in size, which should be about 45 minutes to an hour. So these have been rising for about an hour, and we're going to put them in the oven at 350. We just made a glaze with half a teaspoon of tahini, a tablespoon of orange juice squeezed from the orange that we zested, and 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. And the point is just to make a glaze that we can brush all over.
Ooh. Cheers. Look at my beautiful nails.
Ooh.
Yum.
Yum.
It's like nutty in the perfect way. The orange zest comes through in like the sweetest, as in like darling brightness to kind of cut the fattiness and the almost kind of bitter nature of tahini in such a good way.
I think the cardamom orange combo is so amazing. I mean, that's like a tried and true pairing. Like, we obviously didn't make that up, but I just think that's like one of the things that makes it. This is the bottom. That's the crunchy thing that we crave. Oh my God, I'm getting cinnamon sugar all over my work laptop. But it's just like this gooey, gushy, yum, yum.
Yum, yum. Oh, I'm eating it right now. Wow. They are not too sweet. This might be my favorite component about them.
Yeah, not too sweet at all.
Not too sweet at all. Yum, yum.